Hello, this is Matthew Snovegrove, Research and Development Lead here at FarmMind, formerly known as FarmSmarter. And what this video is going to be is a high-level overview of the features in the mapping section of the software. And then we will have more videos and content to go into all of the details and features in the mapping, which will make sure it's easy to find. So to start off, this is the nav page. If we look at the top left corner, we see the mapping section. And on mobile, this would just be at the top of the screen. So when we click on this, we enter into the mapping. So at a first glance, you'll see a few things. You see this options widget, map controls widget, and some buttons at the bottom. So to start off, I want to go through this map controls widget. So if we zoom in and draw, so we can click draw field and we can go ahead and place these nodes and we can draw our polygon however we want it. Click enter, type in the field info, set all that, save it, set our tags, save those, set our permissions, and we have a field. Then we can click on edit field shape, click the field, and edit it however you want. Click save edit. And we can also import shapefiles and GeoJSON. So if you're coming from an existing software where you already have field polygons, if you can export those as shapefile or GeoJSON, then you can just import it right into this system. And what's really cool is if there's any properties on those fields, it'll automatically take those properties and create tags and tag types and then auto apply those to your fields for you. So this should work and be supported for most softwares that you're coming from. But if there's anything that you find, any softwares that you're coming from where it doesn't work, be sure to let us know so that we can make sure it supports everything. On the left, you have the options widget. So in Visual Tools, this is how you change what the field looks like. So you can turn satellite background on and off, turn these transparent markers on and off. You can choose which tag type you want to color by. So it'll show the colors for the tags in those tag types if they're applied to fields. And if you have a field that doesn't have any tags in that tag type, it'll just be a gray. And then filter fields will control which fields are actually displayed on your map. So you can filter by group, crop, or tag, and have a lot of power in which fields you actually see. Then the edit overlays button sets what is actually displayed on your field. So you could do the field name, the acreage, or for this case, since we're coloring by stubble, I'll select stubble as what I want to see so that I can put a label on these colors. And then if you've taken field notes and they have a location, you can click show field notes and it'll actually show where the field notes are on the map and you can get a little preview of them. And then you can filter which field notes you actually want to see. And then under that, we have the other tools. So these are kind of our power tools. So select mode is a way that you can do batch operations on fields. So if I click select mode, we're now in select mode, and I can select fields in three ways. I can either drag to select, where you can drag to just touch, or you can toggle on surround, where you have to totally surround a field to select it. You can also tap on fields to select them or unselect. And then you can also select by filtering. So let's say I want to select these third stubble fields. I can just filter by just want to see fields in this group with third stubble. So it'll only show these, and then I just do select all filtered fields. So now I just have these. And then you can do any combination of any of those. And then once you've selected fields in field mode, you can do batch things like edit the info. So you can edit the planting date or the crop of a bunch of fields at the same time. Manage the tags, add field notes, you can view field notes, you can add cost, you can chat with the AI about those fields and the field notes in them, as well as manage the permissions and delete those fields. Then we have the tag and group managers. This is where you manage all of your tags and groups. So for the tag manager, you can see all of your all the default tags are in white and all your custom tags are colored, and it'll tell you how many fields you have each tag applied to and the total acreage, and then you can click on tags. You can either delete them or you can edit them by editing the color or editing the tag name. And then for groups, you can also do the same. So it'll show you, all the fields and acreage. You can edit them to if you want to change it to, whatever you please. And then we have the master field list that just shows you all of the fields that you have. So you can do group and then crop, or you can do crop and then group. So I'll click on soybean and I'll see all the groups that have soybean, which is just one, and then I can see all the fields, and then it'll take me right to the field if I want to. And then we have these buttons at the bottom. So let's start over here. So these buttons control how you actually navigate around the map. So if you click on current location, it'll actually take you to the location that you're at. So this is really useful if you're on your phone, maybe you're in the field, and you can tap that and it'll center your map right to where you are in the field. You can do zoom. So let's say you load in, and instead of scrolling and going to your fields, you can just do zoom and it'll just take you right there. You can just drag box, focus on it. And then we have home bases. So home bases are really cool. You can click on this and I have all these different home bases that if I tap, it'll just take me right to. So the way to do that is you click on home bases, click on create new, and once you go to where you want to be, save it, and then put a name to it. And then you can just navigate straight to that home base by just using a button. So if you have a lot of places that you go to every time you load into map, instead of having to manually navigate there by scrolling or panning, you can just create a home base so that every time you load in, you just click home bases and you go straight there. And then we have these buttons. So settings is a way that you can set the defaults of what you see when you first load in. So you can turn the satellite background on or off by default. So let's say I want to keep that off. I want to keep my transparent markers on. I don't want to see field notes, but let's say I want to color by something different like sugarcane variety, and I want to see the name and acreage. And then I want to, you can actually set your default home base. So setting your default home base means that whenever you load in, it'll automatically take you to that home base every single time. So if I load in, it takes me straight to this default home base that I set. And then export area is really cool. So this is how you actually share fields with other people. So if you click export area, you can make an area and it'll select all the fields in there. And then we have this like PDF creation page. So it has a lot of the same features as the map. You have your overlays. You can turn the satellite background on and off. As well as a lot of the similar buttons, but we also have a couple new things, like you can click to highlight fields. You can add a note like check these highlighted fields, and it'll add a note, and then you can also draw on there if you want to for whatever reason. And then you can click export map as PDF, and this will create a PDF of this image and download it onto your system. So this is a really good way to create custom maps that you can share digitally or print out, and then add notes to it, or however you want to operate. And it'll show you the acreage of the highlighted fields, the unhighlighted fields, total, and then the acreage and fields of all of the tag types that you filtered by. So for this one, I did sugarcane variety, so it shows me all of the tags in that tag type, the amount of fields and the acreage of each one. So that's a high-level overview of kind of everything, and then we will also have more detailed instructions and tutorials going through everything in detail that we will make sure is easy to find. So